I'm so intrigued by the neuroscience aspect of it. So,
Hmm.
I love the no do. So,
Hmm.
you mentioned fast food, health. I think it's such a huge topic. And I have two teenage girls, and so we see a lot of parents that there are big boundaries. Like you
Hmm.
cannot have this. And I think it
Hmm.
makes us want it even more. But explain to me, I mean, obviously yours goes back to health and fast food, and you knew, right, like what you needed to do. But where does the neuroscience aspect come into that? Because I think you're right. Like, of course, we know we shouldn't be eating fast food, but we
Yeah.
do it anyway.
Right, right. So for me, the observation of myself, knowing that I want something and not being able to do it,
Mhm.
um, was first. And then a long time passed. And then we're really lucky to be alive right now because in the last 10 years, this neuroscience around an area of the brain that was discovered in like the late 1800s, but they thought it was like an appendix, like pointless, like it's just, why is that there? And everybody ignored it for 100 years, 150 years. And so now, the last 10 years, we have something called functional MRI machines, which basically measure the blood flow and the activity in the brain. And through this new technology, we were able to, we being like the researchers who are expert in this, I am not, but the researchers who study the habenula basically found that it was the main location in the brain for two things. One is if you think you failed at something, even slightly, then this turns on, the habenula turns on. And you don't want it to turn on. It's like poking a bear. You don't want to poke the bear. But once it's awake and once it's on, the second thing it does that they found is that it kills your motivation to keep trying.
Kyra, I'm going to stop you.
Please.
Tell me what a habenula is.
A habenula is a
Thank you.
Okay,
yeah.
You're welcome.
So I want nobody to be afraid of the brain science. I want to make
Okay.
I want to be like Bill Nye the
it.
Science Guy, like of brain science. I do not want people to be intimidated. The habenula is spelled Habenula.
I mean,
And
I'm
it
just proud
is,
of myself that I said it right.
I know, right? Like you just have great word recall. It is a half a centimeter on either side of the central part of your brain, like kind of like if I took these 2 points, it was like right in the middle of your brain, right in front of your areas where you make dopamine and those kinds of things. It's very interconnected, and it's almost like Grand Central Station for everything emotion, everything behavior. It is the brake pedal in your car that basically, if your dopamine and your motivation systems were your gas pedal, this is your brake pedal. It stops you from doing silly things or harmful things or stupid things or whatever. But when it comes to changing your behavior, basically, if I think I'm going to fail at not eating fast food, if I see myself go through the drive-through one more time and I'm like, I feel so helpless, I feel so out of control is usually how it's said, then this part of my brain is on because I think I'm a failure or I'm going to fail or I already failed in the past. And then I don't have motivation to be able to try something different. So then I just get stuck in this hamster wheel of going through the drive-through over and over again. And then because I don't know this brake pedal is in my brain, then I make the wrong conclusion that I'm somehow flawed, that I'm somehow weak, that I'm somehow out of control, that there's something wrong with me, that I'm not motivated, like those kinds of things. So those are symptoms, not the problem. The problem is that we don't know this aspect of our brain. And so we're mistaken in blaming ourselves when we don't do what we know we should do.
So how do we take control or power of that aspect of our brain to know that I'm not a failure? That I can,
So I think
that I don't have to eat the fast food, that, of separating the actual action from my emotion.
Yeah, you nailed it. I think that is the key question, isn't it? Like, and there's a world before we knew about habenula, and there's a world after. The world to me is divided into people who know about the habenula and people who don't know about the habenula. Because the people who know about the habenula will iterate. They will not blame themselves. They will act differently and feel differently about behavior change processes. They'll be more patient. They'll be more compassionate with themselves. Like there's a lot of things that emerge from knowing that you're not bad